The truth is, lust is too powerful and you must run from it. You cannot fight it head on. Hey, I'm Pierce. And if you don't know me, hello. I have been coaching men for the last 3 years. And one of the biggest things that keep coming up in conversations I have with men is they're struggling to fight lust. They're struggling to overcome addictions to porn or addictions to, touching themselves, whatever it is. And the biggest piece of advice that I've given that seems to be working is that you can't fight lust. You must run from it. And to give you some context of just who I am, I'm someone who used to have an addiction to porn. I'm someone who used to be a chronic gooner, as they say nowadays, as the kids say nowadays. And I'm someone who is now around 3 years free of watching any sort of pornographic content. And that's something I can proudly wear as a badge of honor. Porn and gooning free for 3 years. And the biggest thing that I want to instill into you in this video is that the reason you keep losing the battle to lust is because you're trying to fight it. You're not supposed to fight it. You run from it. You flee. And this is something that I know so many people have struggled with, this idea of battling lust. So yeah, let's get this started. So lust is something that I want you to understand. It's an emotion. It's a feeling. And for a lot of us as men, especially, it's a feeling that we've almost always felt like we've had to kind of suppress. Because let's be honest, it's not socially cool or acceptable to be a horny motherfucker. Maybe it kind of is now, but I know back in my days, it definitely wasn't. There was a lot of shame attached to being a horny motherfucker. And due to this, a lot of men have repressed their sexual desires and their sexual urges, and it's something that they don't feel like they have an outlet for, and that's why they rely on things like porn. However, something you must learn and accept is that things like porn, all they are is like a false representation and a false, like, almost a replacement for actual intimacy with a partner. And every time that you fall back into it, what you're doing is like building a stronger and stronger bond with it. Because you might think it's just a casual thing, like, I'm just touching my meat, some pixels, like it's no biggie. But as we all know, the way that brain works is that when action is repeated and repeated for years on end, there becomes a neurological link that you have to that activity now. So not only do you crave the feeling of, releasing, as we say, but you also crave the feeling of watching that content. And what happens with a lot of men is that they don't know what to do, what to do with this feeling. Because once you've developed this addiction, even when you try and get off it, it feels like your brain is just constantly trying to get you back into it. And it's because you're relying on willpower to avoid doing something that is genetically hardwired into you to do, which is to have sex. That's not a shameful thing. And that's something I want men to understand more, that like your desire to have sex in itself is not a bad thing. It's that it's been engineered against you now. Companies have found ways to trigger this feeling in men on a daily basis, constantly throughout the day, to the point where you almost feel like you have no choice but to go on those sites when it hits 2 a.m. And again, this is because you're relying on willpower. What you have to do is change your life completely. You can't allow yourself to be someone who scrolls mindlessly. We all know scrolling is a gateway drug to gooning now. Every single guy can admit that you've just been scrolling late at night and you've just seen something you weren't expecting to see, whether it's some twerking, some very suggestive content, whatever it is, and that triggers these thoughts in your mind, these dirty little thoughts. And the thing is, with most men, we don't even really count those things as like being what contributes to you, going on the hub or whatever it is, but it really does. And for me, I've had to cut out all that sort of stuff out of my diet on a daily basis because I know it is too tempting. It just is. And if you're not willing to make some sacrifices, whether that's sacrificing the amount of time you spend doom scrolling, oh no, I can't doom scroll for 2 hours, I can only do 30 minutes, oh no. Or it's blocking certain accounts on your socials, or it's unfollowing people, whatever it is. These are sacrifices you have to make if you're serious about beingness. Because another thing about lust is that it is never going to be satisfied. Ever. Ever. That's why you still see men that are in their 60s, 70s trying to chase 18-year-olds, trying to date young 20-year-olds, because they're still living in this lustful period of their life. They've never outgrown that lust. They still see women as these sexual things to, over to suck that to they still see women as these sexual objects that they must dominate. And again, lust is something that you can't defeat through logic. You can't logically beat lust because it's something that is going to constantly try and trigger you to act. And the thing about lust is like it's almost like a spiritual thing, because the way it tricks you into believing that you have to do this. I'm gonna die if I don't nut right now. I have to do it. Oh please, no. It's a lie. It's all bullshit, and that is why you have to run from it. And by run, I don't mean literally run, but I might actually mean literally run. And by that, I mean you have to do something else. You have to replace the time and energy that you put into gooning and touching yourself into something else. For me, that has been making content, spending time with my beautiful fiance who I love and care about, talking to friends and family, having hobbies. These are things that prevent you from being a weird gooner. These aren't just cool things to do, they're also things that prevent you from being a weirdo. So have hobbies, have things that you do on a daily basis that actually give you joy. For me, what's helped also is doing things that allow me to kind of get in touch with that inner child. So something I really liked to enjoy when I was younger was playing football. That's something I've been trying to get back into. I know nowadays weather's pretty awful, but I've been trying to. Whether it's like playing football, making some art. Here's an example. Doing some painting, whatever it is, man. Doing something that gets you out of that mindset. This is another doodle I do. Nothing crazy, but it's just about doing stuff that allows you to be present. Because a lot of the time, yeah, when you're in these lustful periods, all it is that you're looking for an escape. You're looking for something to numb the way you feel about life. Like a lot of us, I won't say us, a lot of guys aren't happy with their life. They feel a bit unimpressed. They feel passive in their life, and they just want something to distract them from it. And if it happens to have some jiggly butt, if it happens to have some jiggly ass and tits attached to it, then why not? But you can't rely on cope if you actually want to be happy, man. That's why I say you gotta run. You can't just fight this head on. You gotta run. You gotta find something else. Whether that's physical activity. I know a lot of guys already do this to go gym. They're like, oh, but when I go gym, my testosterone just gets so high that I just need to goon, cope. Well, anyway, all I'm trying to say is you can't fight lust because it's gonna be there every single day. As long as you got tests in your system and you're a young, strapping, healthy young man, there's gonna be that desire in you. You have to find ways to overcome it by doing things that allow you to be in the moment. Because at the end of the day, a lot of the things you want in life are on the other side of the discomfort, the underside of the things that you're trying to avoid. Whether that's spending time with yourself, looking at yourself in the mirror, trying to really ask yourself, who the fuck am I? Because if you knew who you were, I doubt the best version of yourself is a gooner. I doubt the best version of you sits in your room until 2 a.m. in the morning touching yourself. I doubt it. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. Anyway, I'll leave it there. If you enjoyed this video and you think I'm cool and great and attractive and I'm like a Chad or a Chad light or whatever, just press like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And yeah, I have links in my bio to check out for free resources, all that cool stuff. Peace. I'll speak to you later.